But yeah, I don't know if in the soup kitchens, if he paired any of his illegal booze with the delicious soups. But that's going to segue us right into our Brews and Bites, brought to you by Elizabeth Hess, or Liz Hess.
Depending on how close we are.
Depending on how close.
All right. So, Chelsea, it is fascinating to think about how the Prohibition era and the Great Depression not only influenced the economy and crime, but it also influenced American diets and beer consumption. So American tables at the time were dominated by affordable, filling foods. We're talking about soup kitchens, soups, stews, a lot of homemade bread, and of course, potatoes.
Oh, yeah.
The starch of all kings, the king of all starches.
Sounds like my breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Oh my God. So they're staples, mainly due to their low cost and how versatile they were and are in a variety of meals. Fried rice, right? And to be honest, my favorite food sounds like some of your favorite foods as well. The impact of Prohibition, right? American diet. Prohibition's in full swing, 1920-ish to 1933, when producing, importing, transporting, and selling alcohol, completely illegal. We've covered that. So it drastically limited our legal beer consumption.
Okay.
Sad face. So the beers that people did manage to drink were likely homemade or obtained through some illicit means, maybe a soup kitchen.
Al Capone.
And let me tell you, based on that note alone, it's pretty evident that the quality and style of these brews was varied massively. So this era really saw the rise of what you might call home brews, bathtub gin, and those low alcohol near beers. Okay? And they're much simple, less refined compared to the wide array of beers that we enjoy today, which there's premium flavor, variety, and quality. Okay.
So the you talk about having all these different home brews and different things. Based on the amount of hops that was purchased in the Prohibition time and the malts, the barley, the malt, the liquid malt. Liquid malt, the malts that they would sell. Yeah, put a syrup. Winky face because there's actually a winky character for advertising that they're like, yeah, just buy this malt. Yep. You don't know what you're using it for. Yep. Anyways, based on the amount of hops sold and those sold, they predict that there was nearly 700 million barrels of homebrewed beer.
Wow.
Brewed during the Prohibition.
Wow. So in honor of our discussion today, obviously we're going to discuss a meal that was popular during Prohibition and the Great Depression. So one might consider a classic like meatloaf. And for those of you that are following a vegan or vegetarian diet, a meatloaf recipe is easily replicated. You can use beans, grains, mushrooms, or your favorite nut. We recommend a walnut. So the meatloaf dish is economical, it's affordable ingredients, and it often extends them with fillers like breadcrumbs. Okay. And it's a practical choice during a time when resources are limited. So taking this into modern age, so pairing this with a beer that resembles what might have been available during that time. Yeah. So brown ales, they're known for their mild, nutty, and slightly sweet flavors, which would have been achievable in the brewing techniques during this time. So going to our senses, we'll start with sight. So the rich brown hue of the ale complements the hearty, rustic appearance of the meatloaf. I can just see it sitting there in Ma's bread pan and that crust of meat. Yeah. Okay, so you got the ketchup on the top. So it's a visual harmony, right? You're like, I can see Ma's meatloaf right there. It sets the stage, and it's a match that is both comforting and homey. I love a good meatloaf. Anyway, all right. So now you're smelling it and you're like, okay, brown ales, they often have a mild malty aroma. There's hints of caramel, depending on that, sniffer of yours, which would balance the savory umami scent of the meatloaf. So it's inviting, it's homey, and it evokes that sense of warmth and satisfaction. And then what does it taste like? So Ma's meatloaf and brown ales, the malty sweetness, a subtle nuttiness, right? So if you are doing like a vegan, vegetarian, that nut's super gonna pop.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, so touch, texture. Brown ale is typically smooth, medium body texture. It wouldn't overpower Ma's meatloaf. Pairing is meant to ensure that neither the drink nor the food really overwhelms the other, but they complement each other, especially in a mouthfeel as well. And then there's the sound. We can't go away without evoking our sound. And there's the pour of the beer.
I just poured it out. Damn it.
Oh, man. The soft clink of the glass can enhance the comforting, relaxed dining experience. There's a sound of a knife and a fork. Don't screech it, because that hurts the ears. And it's just that like familiar. That was good. Homey sound that aligns with. It's more of like a casual, right? Unpretentious nature of enjoying this brown ale and meatloaf.
Remember, everyone, life's too short to drink bad beer or to decide if you like crackers and food or not. Thank you for listening and tuning in. Again, thank you always for all the support. Supporting the podcast, supporting us as we go. If you haven't already, please make sure to subscribe, like, share on Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you get your podcasts. In addition, you can follow us on Body by Beer Podcast on all the social medias. And we love you all. Can't wait to. This has been a really fun episode. We're really happy with how this one turned out, and we can't wait to get it to you guys. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks so much for tuning in. We'll see you next week.